The Cleveland Browns have come and gone for another season of football. There was a lot of disappointments in the Browns. Injuries have been a thing for the Browns for the last 10 years, where it impacts big player names and all that fun stuff. Very disappointing. Supposedly Stefanski is safe for the time being as far as a coach. I'm just going to get down to it. Where do I see the Browns in another year? Number one, I said at the beginning of the year Jacoby Brissett would be a standout player. I don't think he was perfect by any means, but as a team player, as a leader, as far as keeping focus off of himself and focusing on his job, he was a steal for the Browns. I was always high on the player. He's never going to be a premier starter in the league, but I think his time in Cleveland showed that he still has a lot of gas in the tank. He can throw the ball. He's not a standout-ish player, but he's a very solid player. He has thrown way less interceptions than he has TDs. He has always done better in that category. I think his 1 year in Cleveland's going to be done. They got him specifically to be the starter for Deshaun Watson while he was out. So I think he was a steal. There's some deer. I think he was a steal for the Browns. I think he was good for the Browns, and I think he was a positive impact for the Browns. His time in Cleveland's done. And I was just reading not too long ago that if he gets let go and he gets picked up by another team, the Browns get a compensatory gets a pick from him. So for the price he paid and for what he did for the Browns, the Browns got a steal from him, and then they're getting a pick from it on top of that. Berry has been really good at finding deals on draft picks. So now he hasn't found all-stars, but he's found solid players through the picks. And we're trying to build a roster off that. Now, has there been some misses along with the hits? There always is. But I think for the draft we had last year, some of the players really stood out. Emerson stood out. David Bell, he was a positive. Just around the board, a lot of their players. Renfrey, I think, was a disappointment. But again, being a fourth rounder, third rounder, I don't remember which it is. It's either you're going to get a good deal or you're not. And Renfrey, I'm high on the guy. I think he's got a lot of potential. But as far as where he's at, he's definitely not league ready. Sad part is I think he's one of the better ones we have on the defensive line right now, besides Garrett and Clowney. And Clowney's going to be gone. Kareem Hunt's going to be gone. But no, Brissett has just done phenomenal as a backup quarterback, being a starter. Now, last year, everybody can say what they want. Last year was completely nothing but getting the rust off of Deshaun Watson once he came back. There was no question. Everybody started saying there's controversy because Brissett was so good, they want Brissett in there. And the reality is Brissett knew, the Browns knew, Watson knew, Chubb knew. I mean, pretty much the whole team knows that when Watson was ready, he's coming in. You don't spend that price with him being a backup. You're bringing him as a starter, plain and simple, clear as day, no questions asked. Now, Deshaun Watson, I'm talking about his on-the-field ability, not his off-the-field antics. The Browns wanted somebody that's going to be positive in the locker room and somebody who's going to be positive on the field. Watson is a proven player that way. As far as off the field, if Watson stays out of trouble, then it's a good deal. If he can bring up the numbers and put us in the playoffs, it's a good deal. I think Cincinnati got stolen from a chance to get the Super Bowl. I didn't like the call. A lot of people didn't, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as the Browns, there's a lot of players that's going to have holes. We have a salary cap that's going to be hurting. Andrew Berry made a gamble that our salary cap is going to be raised so that way we'd be able to handle the contracts. He was right, it did go up. He was not right in the fact that the contracts are still more than what the salary cap is. So that is a problem. What Barry's going to do, he's a genius with this, and he's really good with it, is moving contracts around. But it could come back and bite us in the butt also. I think Hunt's gone. John Johnson's gone. John Johnson did not live up to expectations. Kareem Hunt's going to be gone because he wants to be a full-time starter. And I think he's enjoyed his time in Cleveland, but I think the last 2 years he's wanted more action and hasn't gotten it. Browns have too many options, too many weapons, and not enough people, not too many chances to move the ball around. We're trying to bring Watson back into the league full speed. I think he'll be a lot better this next year. We got a new defensive coordinator. They're blaming the coordinator. I don't know who to blame for what's going on. It is what it is. I think injuries was a big part into it, and filling in around the injuries was a problem. There's some guys on free agency I think the Browns need to consider keeping, Walker being one. He was until he got injured in week 3, and last year he was a standout linebacker. This year he's not. I don't know, he's going to have issues because of his injuries. But if the Browns can keep him, I think he's going to be if he can come back from injury, I think he's going to be solid. I think John Johnson's gone. I think half of our defensive line's gone. Chase Winovich, who's a defensive end, he was a bust. I think Alex Wright's going to be taking over the starting position opposite of Garrett. I think they'll be okay. Wright had some times where I won't say he shined, but he did solid. So I think defensive ends, I think, will be okay. We need some good backups. I think Winovich is going to be gone. But again, I don't know. Defensive tackle, we need to concentrate on that. Defensive backs, safeties. I think we have a good baseline, but we need to get some depth in there. AJ Green's a good backup. Emerson, I think, is going to be a starter. Delpit's proven that he can play. And, of course, Ward, if he can stay healthy, is a good player. Outside of that, I think they need to concentrate on getting some more depth that's good, but being able to do it at a price that's affordable. Nick Chubb, there is question marks on whether he'll be traded or kept. I can see reasons for both. He is a premier back. I think the Browns are silly to get rid of him until his production starts draining. I think the Browns are silly to get rid of him. But on the other hand, if you trade him, you probably can get back in the first round, maybe a second rounder. We need some picks. And we need some players that can replace. But I would not like to see Chubb go. I want to see us keep Chubb. No questions asked. We need a defensive tackle. I think Jerome Ford's the backup. I think you're going to see him picking up more production. I think he'll be all right. He's going to be Jakeem Grant, if we can bring him back to starter status from injury. If he can come back from injury and be able to play, we have our kick returner in him. He's supposed to be really good. The only problem is he got hurt preseason, never came back because of the injury he had. If he can come back at the level he was at, and he can actually play, and he's a return man, I think our return team's going to be significantly better. Cade York was a rookie. He's our kicker. He didn't do that much difference than Dawson did during his rookie season. Now, Cade York was worse, but I think, again, this year was more about Watson than it was about the specifics about all the different things. And I think Cade York is going to be making a jump up this next year. They picked him for a reason. He's supposed to be the top kicker in the league. He also was a rookie, so you're going to have, you have a learning curve his first year. He made a lot of hard kicks. He missed some kicks that he should have made. So there's a learning curve there, and I think there's a flexibility there as far as what we can put up with and what we can't. This is going to be his telling year, I think. If he does better than last year, then we're doing good. If he can make some of those clutch kicks, then we're doing good. If he can't, I can see us going after another kicker. But I think Cade York's the guy this year. Trying to think. Our linebackers, if they come back healthy, we're losing half of them and free agency, so there's plenty to pick up that can fill in. And the draft. Defensive tackle has to be concerned. Cornerback, defensive backs have to be concerned. I think our receiver, we need a veteran receiver, and I think we need another rookie. But I think we have a baseline for our team in receiving. Peoples-Jones, if we keep him and we can sign him to extension or whatever, I think he'll be fine. He proves he wants to play. He proved that he can play. The Joke, who's a standout tight end, I think we're going to concentrate on another tight end, though. Harrison Bryant has not lived up to expectations, but he's not disappointed either, so he's kind of in that middle ground. But our offensive line needs to be shifted some. I think we have some decisions to make. It's off-season. We're just starting. Let's see what Barry can do and see where it goes. We have a lot of changes we're going to see. We're going to have a lot of familiar faces that are going to be gone and a lot of new ones coming in. So let's just see where it goes and go Browns. That's my take on the Browns for the beginning of the preseason. Jim Schwartz, new hire for the defensive coordinator. He has experience as a head coach. He has experience as a backup, as a coordinator. And that gives Stefanski more chance to really concentrate on the offense. Alex Van Pelt can also concentrate on the offense with him. And Callahan, everybody can do what they do. We have the best offensive line coach that we can get with Callahan. He is regarded as one of the best in the league. I see positive things for the Browns. They disappointed, but I don't think it's all their fault. I think part of it is injury. I think part of it was, again, Watson not being on the field. Everybody says there's quarterback controversy with Brissett. No, he knew he was a bridge until Watson came back. Now Watson's back. We're going to see exactly what he can do. If he can come back at the production he was when he was with Houston, which he's very fully capable of, then he was a steal. Well, I won't say steal, but he was a costly, but he was a good deal. If he cannot produce like he did in Houston, then he's a bust. It's plain simple. This is the year we're going to find out exactly what he is. But I think he'll be fine. I've got some people disagree with me, but as long as he stays out of trouble, I think he'll be just fine. So that is my video for the day about the Browns, just giving you an update. This is a gaming channel, so I'm looking at the game of football. Please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Just a simple thumbs up. This is my view and my take on the Cleveland Browns. And you guys be blessed and have a good one.